I'm George Reister. He's Ralph Amson, and this is Reister or Wrong. So Benjamin Simmons still isn't playing. He was ruled out the day before for game four. Come on, man. This dude don't want to play ball. Chris Paul, we are on an inevitable collision course with Scott Foster being refing an elimination game for the Phoenix Suns. And Ralph ain't smiling right now, buddy. Um, the NFL draft is here. Who are our top pick, our top quarterback, and our number one sleeper? We will give you that. And Elon, yo, it's gonna be a Tesla driven, Twitter powered by Tesla in a minute. Twitter's gonna have a sponsor. Mark Meadows, his text messages were released, and I don't know what they are yet. Ralph is going to explain them to me, but everything else I've seen about January 6th, hey, it ain't looking good, people. And what's your super secret, super duper location that you like to go that nobody knows? Not telling you the real one. Nah, I'm joking. I'm gonna give up the goods. Gonna give up the draws. Um, but yeah, that's right, still wrong. You guys can always hit us up. So we will start today. Ralph, you brought this topic up because why?
Why? Oh,
Benjamin Simmons.
because of your tweet. Because of your tweet, you are the resident expert on back injuries. Though I've had my fair share in the time that we've been friends, and you kind of have been able to either help me through them or at least commiserate. Like we could speak the same language when we're complaining at each other. But you started tweeting about how your experience with back injuries means that like you couldn't tell me that I'm not going to be okay tomorrow.
Correct.
And that I
Correct.
thought that was a really interesting point.
Yeah, dude, as a man who has had two back surgeries, who played with stem pads on his back in a football game, not a basketball game, a football game, who had three epidurals in 1 year and has had a total of like seven. I feel like I'm qualified to be speaking on this, and specifically Ben Simmons. So, Ben Simmons, who was talking about, yeah, I'm getting ready to go, blah, 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 I want to play, uh, and we're getting ramped up. First of all, Ben Simmons is full of shit. First thing is, because Ben Simmons told us he was having mental health issues when he was in Philadelphia, right?
Right.
Have we,
Right.
since he got traded to Brooklyn, have we heard one single iota about his mental health not fully being where it needs to be to play?
The only thing I've heard is his clothing because it's very loud.
Thank you. So, like, are we supposed to believe the mental health issues when it was a mental health issue for months? He gets traded, and then all of a sudden, the only issue is, yeah, it's gonna take us some time to get ramped up. Then I'm like, okay, gonna take some time. Kyrie was out the whole time. Kyrie came back within a week. As soon as he could play, he was out there playing. He was in shape, dropping 50 on people. He ain't been doing it in the playoffs, but he was out there, but he was ready to go. Would you agree with that, Ralph?
I think that I mean I don't know what is he so from is he sore from sitting on the couch? Cuz that happens.
Yeah, dude.
That's what I'm just confused. I didn't know
What
he
my
was
thing
hurt.
is, so Kyrie came in shape, right? What the hell was Ben Simmons doing the last few months?
Right.
And
Right. But I think Kyrie does hoop. I don't like I think Kyrie loves basketball. I don't necessarily think Kyrie loves basketball as a career in the NBA. I do
yes,
think I think there's a difference. I
yes,
think there's a huge difference. Like think about yeah, dude, I I love pizza, right? My first job, not working for my parents at 16 years old, was at Peter Piper Pizza. I did not enjoy that. So
okay,
like
so yeah, and
that's how I feel about Kyrie. I don't know what Ben Simmons likes.
okay, so the whole point is Ben Simmons was not in shape, right? So he comes back, they got to ramp him up. Now he's got this mysterious back injury. Do I think his back injury is real? Yes. I understand. Like I'm not gonna. I've been down the back road. you you can things can go left and sideways with the jiffiness, buddy. You can think you're a-okay, and then the next thing you can't walk, right? But
Right.
the thing I know about Bax is that if he was out there working out the day before and he can sit on the court, if he's sitting at the game on game 4, dude, absolutely not. Because when your back is like that, you can't be sitting at no damn game for 3 hours. Like if he didn't show up to the game and he sat at the other 2 games too, that means your back, dude, as a person who understands these back things, you can't sit when your back is jacked up and you can't play like that. You can't. You must lay down. You must be doing treatment therapy all the time. You're in massive, massive pain. I've been in tears on the ground in pain. And so this is why I tweeted out these words. I said, as a man who's had 2 back surgeries, I can confidently say Ben Simmons does not want to play. He doesn't want the smoke. If this series were 2-1, his ass would be playing in game 4. And if he keeps this up, his mental health
Wait,
issues from the Philadelphia fans, they are going to be right back in his face with the Brooklyn fans because they're going to be giving him fingers too, buddy.
are you suggesting that he saw those tweets saying that he's about to be the first player in NBA history to get eliminated in back-to-back games? Because the last time he played was when Philadelphia got eliminated. Are you saying he saw those tweets and he's like, maybe I'll take the day off?
Yeah, dude. This dude he has no desire for the smoke. None. Dude, it's potentially the last game of the season and you're going to sit your ass on the sideline? Like, come on, man. Joel Embiid is playing with a torn ligament in his thumb. He played with what did he have last year? Like a torn meniscus in his knee or something? He played hurt last year on
Yeah,
something that.
so a bunch of people play in last year's NBA Finals. Giannis had a bum knee.
Yeah.
Devin Booker had a busted hamstring. We know Chris Paul had wrist surgery right after the finals. Like, I'm as a Suns fan, and I know you remember this because I know this is probably at the time when you were still dealing with the fallout of a lot of your back issues. Do you remember when Steve Nash used to come out at the 4-minute mark of the first quarter, put on warm-ups, and lay on the hard floor and
Yes.
watch the next 8 minutes of action
Yes. Yes.
just so that he could get
Larry
back up with
Bird
8
did
minutes
it.
left? Yeah,
Larry
right.
Bird did it. Like, what are we doing here? Are we paying you 20, $30 million, Ben Simmons? See,
What's
so
he risking? Like, so that he'll be, does he, is this the Shaq thing? I got hurt on company time, so I'll get better on company time? Or is this just a matter of him being scared or what? Because what's he saving himself for? He doesn't have any
bro,
plans a week from now.
bro, the only reason why the Brooklyn Nets don't try to rescind this trade is because they don't want James Harden back either. So they're like, at least we get a chance. Hopefully we can fix Ben and his brain. I mean,
What do you think?
it's
What
Ben's
do you think?
brain that's the problem.
What do you think Kevin Durant would be going through mentally watching a Warriors Nets NBA Finals or a Warriors Sixers NBA Finals?
That first of all, that won't happen. But but but
It
if it
could.
did, dude,
It could.
I
You could have Warriors Sixers in the finals.
I guarantee you that this dude is saying, um, I guarantee you that this dude is saying, um, that I left Golden State. That Kevin Durant is saying
Yeah.
that he left Golden State for this. Like he's like, I left it for this. I left it for James Harden. Okay, cool. Thank God he's gone. I'm cool with Kyrie. I can't fully trust him to be available all the time, but when he's on the court, he'll play hard generally, right? So I understand that part of it. Then there is the other issue of what is going on as far as coaching. He's like, bro, I left Steve Nash. I left Steve Kerr for Steve Nash. This dude can't coach his way out of a paper bag, dude.
But
Like
you figured he would have known because Steve Nash was working with the Warriors when he was there.
yes, but it's not the same thing as being the head man in charge, as being the HBIC, the HDIC.
What is there to coach when Kyrie Irving had said out loud that Steve Nash really isn't the coach anyway before the season, that anybody could be the coach, that there's so much talent on this team, that there's so much wisdom about basketball on this team that all the burden shouldn't fall on Steve Nash anyway. Where's some of the culpability for that?
What?
I don't blame I and this isn't me being a homer because I Steve Nash is great. I'm not the biggest fan of Steve Nash. Whatever happens to him happens. I really don't care. I just think that like just because the team was built weird doesn't mean that you should be able to like coach your way out of that weirdness.
Dude,
This team
they are
has this
double,
team
triple teaming Kevin Durant, and you cannot find a way. You cannot find a way to orchestrate some sort of, like when they try to trap at certain spots. Here is our move, dude. They need Tyronn Lue. If they had
well,
Tyronn Lue, this series would be 2-2.
so here's the thing. Kyrie Irving averaged 10 3-point attempts per game
Yeah.
from like February on, right?
Yep.
In game 2, he shot 1.
Yeah.
So he completely changed the way he played basketball. And then in game 3, he started chucking them up against, but he missed every single one of them. Like it how
Have
much
you
of it is
seen
just
the
that
shot? No. Have you
nobody's
seen the
helping?
shots that they have to take? Like Kevin Durant barely is able to get any shots up, and so is Kevin Durant. I'm sorry, and so is Kyrie. They're like it's either ISO and shoot a ball over two people. Like there has to be some offensive structure aside from ISO ball. It's been
Here
atrocious.
here's the lesson that we're learning because the Lakers are at home on the couch, the Clippers are at home on the couch, the Nets are about to be at home on the couch. The super team is dead. The start from scratch super team maybe never was a thing because if you think about it, the thing that kicked this whole thing off was LeBron and Bosh leaving to
Nope,
go to South Beach
nope,
where Dwayne
nope.
Wade
It
already
was
was.
Boston. It was Boston. It
But
was
they were
Boston.
already but who did they already have? They already had Paul Pierce and they were
Yeah,
already competitive. That's a big part of it is
Wade.
adding people to a situation that already has a solid core. And now everybody's trying to disassemble the solid core for the sake of the super team and it's not sustainable.
No,
Especially when you talk about how many super teams can exist at any given time.
yes.
And so
And
I
you are
think
one
that you look
injury away from it all being a shit show. Like
and you
like
look at the teams that are good right now, and these are teams that built through the draft and free agency. Miami's the 1 seed. Philadelphia, yeah, they got Harden back in a trade, but they were competitive without Ben Simmons. The Celtics are competitive. Give credit to Danny Ainge, even though he's gone. He kept them competitive, and now they've moved on to it looks like more capable hands, and they're balling out. The Phoenix Suns were built through the draft and free agency. Golden State is back to being that squad. I think that what we're seeing is the pendulum swing back from the instant impact of these super teams because they're so spread out and so many people are trying to do it that the teams that actually have a decent core are the ones that are going to be the future of the NBA. And I look at the trouble that the Suns are in right now, and that's another team, the Pelicans, that built in a way that wasn't necessarily. In fact, they lost Anthony Davis, right? LeBron shipped Brandon Ingram out to New Orleans, and Brandon Ingram looks like Kevin Durant used to look
yeah,
right
but
now.
he's gotten older though. Like he's gotten older, and I will agree with the Lakers. They didn't want to. They were too impatient to let some of these guys come of age. Like they were too impatient to let Brandon Ingram become who he is now and all of that because they were like, oh, we got LeBron and we can get Anthony Davis. I mean, and yes, it worked. They got a championship. But the problem is that with these super teams, you are living on borrowed time. Like any injury, you have a massive issue. And the Lakers had a bunch of them this season. Now, dude, Ben Simmons doesn't want to play, and that's the bottom line. But now, speaking of injuries, your Phoenix Suns are
Hmm.
they're 2-2 now with the
Yep.
Pelicans, and the Pelicans are they play hard. Alvarado is annoying. He finally got Chris Paul
Agreed.
with that sneak around the back thing. I was so
He
mad.
reminds me. He reminds me of Tino Cruz from Coach Carter. I
Oh
tweeted
yes,
that, and somebody called me a racist, and I was like, "Am I being racist?"
no, he
No,
actually looks like him. Oh
he looks like, but he's also like an a hole.
yes, dude, I was so
So
mad that he finally got him because I'm like, dude, stop. Like it's so annoying. And he got an 8 second call too. It was but Chris Paul actually should have got another 8 second call at the end of game 3. Dude, did you see that?
yeah,
Yeah. And but anyways, so now they are struggling with the Pelicans. The Pelicans,
yeah,
like they have done the one thing that they did not want to happen was the Pelicans to get some confidence. Now the Pelicans in their mind, they're like, we can win 2 out of the next 3 games in their mind. So now
yeah.
my question to you is
Hmm.
so Scott Foster is reffing tonight. Okay? He's
Yeah,
reffing game 4 of one of the playoff games tonight. So that means he will not be reffing in game 5. Okay.
right.
Um. Yeah. So he won't be reffing game 5, but he could be reffing a game 6 elimination game for the Suns or a game 7, which is still an elimination game for both teams. And Chris Paul is 0-13 when he's reffing in the playoffs. And last year it was James Harden who was 0 for 2. So one of them had to win. Chris Paul did not. So if this is so fitting for the NBA that Scott Foster, and mind you, we don't know the assignments yet, but how much would you want to bet that if the Suns are in an elimination game, that Scott Foster is gets the assignment?
I mean, I you know how I feel about conspiracy theories. I think the biggest thing about conspiracy theories is they always give way too much credit to the powers that be. The truth of the matter is the people that are running things, different systems all over the country, they're just as dumb as you and me. Maybe just me. I'm not meaning to insult you, but I I don't buy into a lot of conspiracy theories because I think it's just people giving over power that doesn't exist. Um, however,
But with that, I was waiting on that
however,
part. But with that said,
if you got in trouble for breaking the law, George, and if you got in trouble for breaking the law and people looked at your call logs to see if you planned the we let's say it was like a heist or something, and they saw that you called me 140 times in a month, which is feasible, right? If they
that
saw that
is
you called me
feasible.
100, right? Then they might start to think that I'm involved in some way, right?
Yeah.
And I think back to a few things. I think back to whatever David Stern had against the Lakers that kept him from allowing Chris Paul to go there. And I think about the fact that Tim Donaghy's call logs from when he got busted for betting on NBA games were like 140 deep in outbound calls to our guy Scott Foster.
Are you
And I'm like, dude,
serious?
oh, for sure. Yeah, no, that's like easily verifiable. Definitely look that up. But like I'm just like, okay, so we know the NBA at one point was out to get Chris Paul over this whole thing, and we know that the NBA on some level looked the other way, or at least hasn't been fully forthright in whatever Tim Donaghy and Scott Foster's relationship was.
Yeah.
Like, did they just keep Scott Foster around to f with Chris Paul? And that is a
Dude.
thought that has to go through my head when you look at a guy who has a lifetime winning percentage over 71, and the fact that he's lost like 14 straight playoff games or
Dude,
whatever
I
that
am
Scott
going to
Foster is
ask
refereeing.
somebody, dude, I'm going to ask somebody so close to Chris Paul after we get off of here, because I never have, about the Scott Foster thing. Oh my God, I should have did this before the show. Damn it. But I
Yeah,
will report
definitely,
back.
definitely Google Tim Donaghy, Scott Foster call logs.
My God.
That's a
Dude, that
trip.
would sometimes people come up with bad analogies. That's a good analogy. So,
But
but
even then, it's not the type of thing where like like some things like people like, oh, it's a conspiracy. They're out to get me. At this point, I'm just like, all right, if I see Scott Foster's name on the thing, that's a loss. So hopefully we can get, if it comes to
so
game 6, hopefully we can get game
well,
7.
well, well.
I,
I'm just
I don't
stating
even.
the fact that if it happens in an elimination game 6 or a game 7, well, actually, what do you think the chances are that if the Suns are in an elimination game in game 6 or game 7 that he ends up on the assignment? What do you think the chances are, like a percentage chance?
It could definitely happen. But here's one thing I do know.
Oh,
I
well,
think
I'm
that
saying,
Devin
is
Booker
it
will
more
play.
likely or not to happen?
I, I mean,
I think it's more likely than not. So at least 51%
if
chance.
if there really is like an NBA out to get Chris Paul thing, it will definitely happen. But you know that that's what makes Ben Simmons and Devin Booker different. Is Devin Booker will find a way to show up with a bum hamstring and try
Even
to
if
play
it's
through it,
6 minutes. If they
even
get
if
in,
it's six
even if,
minutes. Yeah.
yeah, if they get in an elimination situation and Devin Booker does not play, it is because Devin Booker cannot play. It is not because he's like, I'm kind of iffy.
So I just to close us out on the NBA stuff, even though I do want some of your overreactions from what's going on in the last week. Uh, I just want to read this tweet from January 5th, 2016, and see how it sits with you. This is
Okay.
from Magic Johnson on Twitter. LSU's Ben Simmons is the best all-around player I've seen since LeBron James came out of high school straight
Oh
to the
my
NBA.
God. Okay.
That one did not age as well as some of Magic's other
Wonderful
super
takes.
obvious vanilla tweets. Yeah, he's got the most vanilla tweets ever. So
Like,
that one
man,
is
the
extra
Lakers were the
spicy.
best. He was like, yo, the Milwaukee Bucks were the best team in the NBA last year.
Yeah, yeah. His is like the sun came up today, which is 93 million miles away from us. Miles are a unit of distance measurement. Like those are that's the typical Magic Johnson tweet. So this one was extra spicy, and it's just funny to see that one pop back up on the timeline.
Yep, exactly. All right. So now the NFL draft is upon us on Thursday. Yeah, we get it, first rounders. Now, there's a lot of talk about who's going to be the number one overall pick. It's going to be Aiden Hutchinson, Kayvon Thibodeau, um, the Trayvon Walker, Evan Neal, Sauce Gardner, whoever is going to be the number one overall pick. But now, if you had the number one overall pick, and we're going to give you are the Jacksonville Jaguars,
Hmm.
not the Urban Meyer who would draft Travis Etienne at number one, but who would you who would you draft if you were the Jaguars number one overall pick?
Okay, so I have to preface this. I have a personal. I'm never gonna be in charge of picking an NFL team's
Because
first
you would
round
pick
pick.
all Arizona guys or
No, no, no,
Wyoming.
no, 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 no. I no. I do not believe in taking a defensive lineman in the top 5 to 7 picks.
Why is that?
I I think that you invest free agent money on the defensive line because that's the biggest. To me, that's the biggest position in football in which like work and body changes over time ultimately make an impact. Like you see the defensive linemen that get drafted high start to meet expectations. I feel like later on in their rookie deal. And if I'm Jacksonville, I want an immediate impact. I don't know if you would consider that franchise to be any better off than when you played there.
Oh,
Um,
they definitely are not.
and I know that they have talent on offense, and I think that my instinct would be to protect it. And and I know that most mock drafts have him going anywhere from 7 to 10, but I would pick Evan Neal first overall. That would be my number one
What?
pick. Yeah,
Oh my God. Okay. Well,
he's
I'm not.
he's physically gifted, athletically gifted, and you got to do everything you can to protect your assets. And so I know that that's uh, considered by some to be way over what
Yes.
where he'd be picked. Then maybe I'd even consider trading back to 4 or 5 so that it wouldn't sting as much. But I'm definitely Evan Neal is my number one on my board.
Um, dude. Okay. Um, okay. So Ralph, the only problem with that is this. The only problem with that is this is that if you are drafting Evan Neal, well, actually, with your trade back scenario, I think the Jaguars would welcome trading back, right? I think they would welcome it. The only problem is that you have to have a run of quarterbacks or at least one quarterback that people are like, oh my God, we need that guy, right?
And they've
So,
kind of publicly said that nobody wants the number one pick. I mean, that
yeah,
wasn't the phrasing they used, but that's the way I took it.
yeah, because okay, because the Jaguar, all the teams in the top. Okay, so Jacksonville, are they going to draft a quarterback? No.
No,
The Detroit Lions at number 2, are they going to draft a quarterback?
not at
Based
two.
upon, yeah. Are the Houston Texans going to draft a quarterback?
No,
Are the Jets going to draft a quarterback?
no.
Are the Giants going to draft a quarterback?
They should consider it, but they won't do it with the pick number five.
Well, yeah, correct. And they're not going to do it because they just got a new head coach in Brian Dable, and they want to see what's going to go on with Danny Dimes. Like, they don't want to give up on that yet because he has
Yeah.
had some good moments, but they just feel like the coaching has been poor around him. So the first pick that you could possibly, assuming that nobody trades, that you could get a quarterback is number 6 at Carolina, right?
Right.
So why on earth, if you are any of these other teams, like, are you trading up to get anything when there is, like, if you're Seattle, are you going to try to trade up to draft what? You know what I mean?
Right, but what I don't understand is the top two teams in the draft that really need a quarterback are in the same conference. Why isn't Jacksonville playing Atlanta off Carolina? I don't understand that.
Because Atlanta is not committed to drafting a quarterback because their options are Malik Willis, Kenny Pickett, and they're just kind of like, we will roll with Marcus Mariota this year and see what happens. We might get a franchise quarterback, or we might need another quarterback next year, where
Right.
where the draft is much deeper. So
Yeah.
that's why Atlanta's not. They're like, it's fine, bro. We're not going to trade you future first round picks and all it is for a quarterback. Sorry, we'll wait. Either we're going to be really good or we're going to be really bad. Either way, our quarterback problem is solved. You know what I mean? Next year.
Yeah. Well,
So
I'd say screw it. I liked the movie Draft Day, Devontae Mack. No matter what, I say you go with the guy that you want, and in this situation, regardless, I'm going with the offensive
well,
lineman. Even
see,
though
I'm
most
glad you
people
said
doing
that.
mocks don't even think he's the best offensive lineman available.
Exactly. So that's me. Vontae Mack, no matter what, bro. Kayvon Thibodeau, no matter what, at number 1. I don't personally want him to go to Jacksonville, but um, but it is what it is. So I get it. Yep. Oh, whoa. Is this true? Who
What's
is
going
this
on?
person? Oh, never mind. Dude, why in the F? Okay, so I do not get Twitter alerts on my phone, right?
Okay.
I do not. But for some reason, these dumbass tweets come up on my Twitter like they are forced to my phone. And this breaking in a blockbuster trade between the 49ers, Jets, and Dolphins, Debo Samuels has been dealt to Miami in exchange for a Miami 2023 first, a Jets 10th round pick. But anyways, like I just saw the very beginning in a
So you
blockbuster
saw,
breaking.
so someone got you with a fake tweet that
No.
Twitter elevated to
No.
you.
Yes. No, it didn't. No, it pushed it to my phone. Like,
That's
and
funny.
I don't even have Twitter notifications on.
That's
Bro.
brutal. Maybe that's why we need Elon Musk.
And
'Cause
you
we
get a
can't have-
fake tweet push. If Adam Schefter had sent that out or Ian Rappaport, I would have welcomed that, even though I don't have Twitter alerts on my phone. I would have welcomed that piece of information. But like, how do I get a push notification when I don't receive notifications for a BS tweet? Somebody needs a whooping. Somebody needs a whooping right now.
So you say Kayvon to Jacksonville. Do you think it'd be good for him to
No,
go to a
nope.
you,
He's a
but
big
even
market guy.
okay, but even on the level where like we've already seen that people kind of take some of the stuff he says and does a little bit too far out of context. Do you think starting off in a quieter environment will help him? Because I'm starting to feel like he's a reply guy. Like he responds to the stuff that people say about him on the internet. I think there will be less stuff to say if he's out in Jacksonville.
Mm-mm. Dude,
No,
he
okay,
will no, dude. He will actually get more antsy. Not have
just get louder.
yes, yeah,
I respect it.
yeah.
Okay,
And
okay.
now, who and my first quarterback? It is easy, easy. It is Malik Willis, and yeah,
Is that
that's
who you
literally
would
it.
take as the first available quarterback, or is that the quarterback you believe is going to have the best career over time?
Dude, we are living in 2000 and we I think we may be living in 2013.
Why is that?
The 2013 NFL draft featured one first round quarterback, and that was EJ Manuel. Okay?
Okay,
The only first round quarterback was EJ Manuel. The next quarterback taken was Geno Smith.
okay. Bills
Ne-
legend EJ Manuel, Jets legend Geno Smith.
Next quarterback, Mike Gleason. And then Matt Barkley, Ryan Nassib, Landry Jones, and then after that you had the great Nathan Peterman. So
Oof, that's
that was the
brutal.
2013 draft.
Who
We
was
could be living in 2013 all over again.
who was the best out of all of them? Geno?
Yeah, Gino.
Maybe. I mean, Matt Barkley had a respectable career.
Yeah, but no, Gino. He started for a couple years and he's still playing.
So,
So
so you're saying you're saying it's not an answerable question?
correct, correct.
That's funny. That's funny. I kind of like I
Who's
like
gonna
Malik
have the
Willis.
best career, bro? Like what is the floor for best though?
Right. Also, the idea of like, oh, but you got to go to Charlotte or Atlanta to get your start, probably if you're picked at 6 or 8. I kind of like the way Kenny Pickett plays. I like the way Malik Willis plays. But if I had to bet on one quarterback coming out of this that actually puts up some decent numbers and does some damage in the NFL, I'm going with Sam Howell at a University of North Carolina.
Oh, no neck man.
No neck man.
Okay, look, I
I like Sam Howell. He is more athletic than people give him credit for, and he could air it out. And it's all going to be based on protection. I went to probably one of his worst college games, where not
I am not a Sam Howell believer. Like I think
well,
he's
then
cool.
he's going to be good.
I think he's cool.
Who was
No,
the
I'm
last
usually
quarterback that I liked that you didn't?
dude. I am usually spot on quarterbacks. My only real miss has been your boy.
Okay. Well, I'm definitely not saying that Sam Howell is going to be the next Josh Allen. I'm just saying that if you get him in, like, I would love Sam Howell in Arizona uh, to back up Kyler. I would love that because I think he's what the Cardinals have in who's their backup from Texas, Colt McCoy.
Yeah.
I think that Sam Howell is 12 years younger, Colt McCoy, and I
Okay.
think that he could have a decent career. Like Colt McCoy's had a decent career. I'd love him as a backup in Arizona. I don't know. It'd have to be a really good situation for him to go in um, and do some damage as a starter. And you're probably right. There's not. I don't see a lot of star power
Exactly.
in this quarterback class.
Okay. Yep. All right. Now, now on to. Oh, wait, actually, no. We still have one thing. Who is your biggest sleeper in the draft this year? Mine, tight end out of UCLA, Mr. Greg Dulcich.
I do like Greg. I like him. He's repped by my girl Molly uh, out at Carrick Sports Management in Vegas. So some free publicity for them. I think that he could be really really good. I think that there's a lot of good tight ends um, in this draft. I
I think
guess.
he's got star potential, buddy. Star.
Oh wow. I'm gonna throw in a couple of plugs for a couple of the teams that I follow because, of course, um, I think that I really like Chad Muma out of Wyoming, and I think that they don't always have a great record, but the one thing that they've been really really good out there is making pros and
Yes, they
and that
have.
that are impactful, and I think he could be really really impactful on somebody's defense. And then I am going to give a shout out to my guy because I know how hard he has worked and everything he's put in to get to this place. And he's a little bit older, so kind of has a shorter window. He's going to have to come in and make an impact right away um, to prove himself. So a lot of pressure's on his shoulders. But I think that if somebody picks up Chase Lucas, I think that they're going to be pleasantly surprised with what he's able to do at the cornerback position. So I'm going to use that to give a shout out to a couple of the players that I've followed the closest over the last few years, because I think outside of that, I looked it up and down. It's a crapshoot. I'm not going to say anything that a million different people on draft Twitter or NFL GMs haven't gone over a bazillion times. But
Yeah.
I like Chad Muma. I like Chase Lucas.
All right. I know you love Chase
I
Lucas.
do love
We
Chase
yeah.
Lucas.
All right. Elon Musk had to dig through his coffee cushions. I mean the cushions on his couch, and he's scraping up $43 billion to buy Twitter.
44 billion.
Oh, sorry.
I think they counter offered.
So,
They
and
got him
at
for that
first,
extra Billy.
because remember, Twitter was like, no, come on our board, Elon. He was like, after he noticed that he was the biggest shareholder, he was like, slow down. I'm actually going to buy you. And then you had another company up there buying of Twitter stock, and they were like, no, see, now he's not the biggest owner. And then Elon was like, fuck it, I'll just buy the whole thing. And this was the definition of making you an offer that you cannot refuse. He upped the share price by a significant amount. I forget about how much um, he bid it up. Well, he's offering to buy it at a premium above the share price, and all the shareholders of Twitter were like, I don't know what y'all thinking. I don't know what y'all thinking. Y'all better sell this shit. Like this is the best offer we're going to get. Like this is period. And so, do you like Elon? And then Elon tweeted, "I hope all my haters, or no, all the people who hate." Basically, said, "I hope all my haters stay on Twitter because that's what free speech is about." Blah blah blah. So, and I'm leaving Twitter to go to Parler or whatever, or Facebook or wherever else is the new. I'm moving to Canada if this president gets elected.
I
So
do feel like it is the new I'm moving to Canada because there's a few people that I saw that are as addicted to this app as I am, saying that they were done forever as of this morning, and I was like, all right, I'll see you tomorrow. Like,
it's like that
I
dude
will
at the
see
baseball
you
game.
tomorrow. Yeah, I
I'll
well, I'll see that you're on here. I'll see your likes. You might not tweet anymore, but we'll see you
Dude,
back
how
on.
long do you think those people can hold out?
I am really looking forward to a couple of the people that I follow to seeing how long it will go. My guess is a week, a week tops.
Yeah.
Um, here is the one thing that I'm hopeful for. It is pretty wild that he's taking Twitter private. It is something that would have been irresponsible for the shareholders to probably turn down because the whole thing about owning shares in a company is hoping to make money. It's probably not a good. It's probably equally as weird a thing as Jeff Bezos buying the Washington Post. Like billionaires owning sources of information is like billionaires owning sports teams. They all want to get one. Is it a good thing when they have it? Probably not. I remember there was a paper out of Las Vegas that wasn't allowed to report negative things about Sheldon Adelson while he was alive because he owned them.
Wow.
So like that's not the type of stuff that I like. Elon Musk is saying that he's going to be open to critics,
I think he will. I mean, he kind of
but he's already
embraces that sort of thing.
kind of, but he's sort of already so sensitive about it that he bought the whole damn app. So that is
No,
that is less being cool
so
about what
you
people
think
have to
that
say to
that
you.
that that that's why he bought it was to I don't think that's why he bought it. I think he bought it because he wanted to be
He
like,
bought it. He bought it because he's divorced and has spare time. That
yeah, and
same
and
he
because
bought he bought it like your neighbor down the street, whose wife lives at somebody else's home now, just bought an Infinity SUV when he doesn't even have kids at home. Like he just bought it because he could.
yeah, exactly. All
He
right,
says that he'll get rid of bots, and that's the one thing that I'm hopeful that he follows through on. That to verify the identity of the user, that you have to verify that you are a human being in order
dude.
to
Do
have
you
an
know what
account
the
on
best
Twitter.
part about that is?
Hmm.
You know what the best part about that is that that will 100% cut down on asshole tweets. If you have to verify your identity to be a Twitter, oh my god, people will they will change their tune about that will change. I think that will be an absolute positive for Twitter because that will cut down some of the keyboard stuff because we know you get too reckless, you get fired. You will get
And
fired from your job.
and the other thing that it's going to do is because Twitter left a lot of the bots up so that it could inflate user numbers to report to investors to make it seem like way more people were using Twitter than there actually was. If Twitter's privately owned, there's no reason to lie to anybody about how many people are on it. And so that is the one thing that I see that could be a positive coming out of this. Or we're just moving closer and closer to an oligarchy in which, 10 to 12 people own all of the things and we are all their loyal subjects. So that would be less good. But less bots is fun.
Yep. Less bots is fun. All right. The now you have some tweets to read to me. Ralph. I'm sorry, you
Yes,
have some text messages to read to me from your boy.
I do. So Mark Meadows, I believe, was Donald Trump's chief of staff.
Yep.
And in order to get a hold of Trump, everything went to Mark Meadows, right? So I think a lot of people have been really curious at what some of the stuff that Mark Meadows was receiving on and around January 6th and who he was receiving it from. So I'm gonna read you a few of the things that he was getting around that time, and I just want to get um, your reaction to those.
Okay.
Uh, so this is Donald Trump Jr. texting Mark Meadows because he's not able to get a hold of his own father on January 6th.
Mm.
Donald Trump Jr. to Mark Meadows. He's got to condemn this shit ASAP. The Capitol Police tweet is not enough. This is one you go to the mattress on. They will try to fuck his entire legacy on this if it gets worse. What is your reaction to that, George?
They knew. They knew.
Can you imagine texting your dad's handler because you can't get a hold of your own dad?
Do you realize that means that your dude, that means that you know that your dad is on some weirdo stuff. But also it could mean that he's the president of the United States and he's in a meeting or something and like you know that he will bother him as well.
Okay, so let's let's find another one. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene to Mark Meadows on January 6th. This is one of two that I'm going to read to you. The first one, though, Mark, I was just told there's an active shooter on the first floor of the Capitol. Please tell the president to calm people. This isn't the way to solve anything. Why would
Wait,
Marjorie Taylor
Marjorie
Greene believe?
Taylor Greene said that?
Yeah. Why would
Oh
she
my
believe that the
god,
president
dude,
had
that
the
means
ability
she
to
was
calm those people?
actually scared. She was like, they may get me too. I'm with you, people.
So this is her. texting Mark Meadows a few hours later. Mark, we don't think these attackers are our people. We think they're Antifa, dressed like
Oh,
Trump supporters.
oh God. So she was still a moron in the process.
Uh, all right, so I'm going to take you back a month
Okay.
to Sean Hannity, who everybody assumes is, communicates directly with the president, is in his pocket, will say whatever the president wants him to say on his news program.
Okay.
So this is November 3rd, right before the election. Sean Hannity to Mark Meadows. Hey, is North Carolina going to be okay? Mark Meadows told him, stress that every vote matters, get out and vote. On the radio, telling him to say it on the radio. Sean Hannity says, yes, sir. On it. Any place in particular we need to push? Mark Meadows said, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Arizona, and Nevada. Sean Hannity said, got it. Everywhere. So that is one of the most popular media members in the entire country taking direct orders on what to report from
Bro.
this is like the Adam Schefter thank you Mr. Editor thing.
Yes.
Like everybody knew that this was the case, but it's weird to see it in writing.
Correct. Correct. It's that's so bad to to think that a news outlet would literally be taking editorialistic things from the White House. And I know that that's not the only time. Trump is not the only president that that's happened to, because they'll have relationships with certain individual, people
Yeah.
like Cuomo and his brother. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
that ended up being his undoing too. He could have
Right.
just not said anything about it. Like
Right.
if it were me, that I would have rather people criticized me for not saying anything about it than to try to defend him. If that makes sense.
But he could look his brother in the eye at the dinner table. So that I guess that's what was more important to him. And then here's the last one. 11 days after January 6th, Marjorie Taylor Greene again to Mark Meadows.
She dry snitching.
In our private chat with only members, several are saying the only way to save our republic is for Trump to call for martial law. I don't know on these things. I just wanted you to tell him. They stole this election. We all know they will destroy our country next. Please tell him to declassify as much as possible so we can go after Biden and anyone else. So we had a congresswoman asking the president's chief of staff, the outgoing president's chief of staff, to declare martial law 11 days after January 6th, in which she thought there was an active shooter and wanted Trump to shut the whole thing down. Then she changed her mind that it wasn't any Trump supporters at all. And then she wanted Trump to go back and do the thing that she thought Trump was doing 11 days earlier.
Bro. And she also was like, "Oh, the we can't allow a peaceful transfer of power." Bro, dude, these text messages are reading like Johnny Depp's trial, dude, and the Amber Heard, where you're just like, wait, what? What? Wait, hold up. Let me see the fine print. Like that, is this really real, or is this? Are we in an actual like? Is this based on a true story? Is this an actual true story?
It makes you start to wonder if more politicians, they should have always been acting like this anyway, but if more politicians are going to act like we will eventually see the text messages that they send.
Yes, exactly, bro.
All right, we got one more topic today, right?
Yep.
One
It's on
more.
you, bro.
All right, so we get the Facebook memories that pop up. I realized that 3 years ago this week, I spent the week at Havasupai Falls, which is, I believe, southeast of the Grand Canyon. Red rocks, blue water, gorgeous. I hiked 50 miles in 4 days. Um, Wild horses everywhere. People are awesome. Food's awesome. Camping's great. I went with some really good friends. And I totally see why it's a bucket list destination for most people, which got me and you talking
Yeah.
about what is that secret spot that's out there for you that you've been to that you always tell people, like, you got to go check this out because you've been there and not really a lot of other people that have.
For me, this is very close to a place I got married at in Punta de Mita, Mexico. I know it's and people can be like, "Oh my God, Kim Kardashian said that." I went there before Kim Kardashian. First thing is, so and you're gonna think, oh my God, I can't afford to go to this place, blah blah blah. If you can afford to go to Puerto Vallarta, you can afford to go to this place. It's like 45 minutes outside the city because Punta de Mita is about literally 45 minutes away, an hour away max. And there's this little uh, beach place that you can go to. You can rent paddle boards and all of this stuff. It's like a little shopping center, if you will, kind of a place. And there is a couple of restaurants in there. I remember before we got married, we went in there and we were watching the World Cup in there, and it's not fancy, but they have these beach chairs. The weather is perfect, and you can just sit out there all day. It's not crowded. Like this is just like my hideout, dude. If I were private jet rich, I would fly down there probably once a month in the summertime for just like 2 days, 3 days. Fly down there, just hang out at the beach all day. Bring my bring my laptop, tweet, and then they have great food. Like I remember we sat at that beach for probably 8 hours one day, bro. 8 hours underneath the awning, so the shade was on me because that's the only way I like to be at the beach.
I would say it
And
must have been a nice beach considering you live near the beach.
but I don't go to the beach here. Um, or rarely, and but this is blue water compared to like Pacific is cold and anyways. So we're sitting there. We got like two whole lobsters. We got, like other food. Like that was amazing. Food was amazing. Fresh seafood, all of this stuff. Guess how much we paid? Oh, and we were drinking too. Guess
All
how
right,
much
so
we paid at
lobsters,
the
drinks, 8 hours.
and other food, various
Okay,
other foods like that are like I think we might have had like some swordfish or like some or like
okay,
some halibut or something, the expensive fish. I'm not talking about the catfish or the tilapia.
okay. Uh, I'm thinking for you to be impressed, it'd have to only be a couple $100 a person.
It was like $120, bro.
Dear Lord,
Dude, it was dude, I could not
that's like Applebee's for my family of six.
yes, bro. It was literally like taking my family to a normal restaurant. Like I don't mean a nice restaurant, a regular family of seven at a restaurant. We're not getting up out of there. If we get up out of anywhere for under $100, I feel like I won.
Right on. Mine is it's called Top of the World. It's the border of Wyoming and Montana. After you exit Yellowstone on the north end, um, it takes you up on these mountains, and you have to drive down switchbacks to get into Red Lodge, Montana. It's one of those things where you pull the car over and you get out, and you'll be standing somewhere, and you'll look down at your feet and think to yourself, "Am I the first human being that ever stood here?" And
Yeah,
that's like a really cool feeling that you can't get just anywhere. And I think it's a big reason why so many people fall in love with Montana, that and the show Yellowstone. But I am a big fan. There's not anything to do or eat. It's not really a good vacation destination, but it is somewhere that I think that everybody should
I
make the
love it.
trip if you have a vehicle that can handle it, and you definitely go after May 31st when the snow finally thaws. Because if you try to get up there in the ice, it's going to be messy. But that is my bucket list place that I tell people, like, you definitely want to check it out. Where's somewhere you haven't been yet that you have
Oh
circled
God,
as like this is must do?
I want to go to Australia. I want to go to Greece. So I want to go to Santorini. Um, we're going to the Cayman Islands this summer, so I'm excited about that. Never been there. Um, I want to go to. Oh, want to go to South Africa so I can do some more white people shit, dude. I'm going to swim in the cage in the with the great whites in the water.
Okay,
Is
okay,
that the definition of white people stuff?
that's fairly white. I
Yes, that's really high on the
yeah.
list, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Love going to Africa to do white people things.
Well, that's where all the white people are. Is in South Africa, so
Yeah.
it's fine. Um,
I want to go to because I've been outside and had a table there, but I've never been in the kitchen so that I can just eat the food right off the grill or whatever. But
oh,
Dave's Hot
from
Chicken in
like,
Hollywood,
oh my God, you want to sit in the kitchen at Dave's? You don't want to, do you? Will come out smelling like. Hey,
I
okay,
miss
so
lunch. I miss lunch, and all I'm thinking about is flying across the country and going to Dave's Hot Chicken.
dude, if you ever get a chance to, because I'm a big, I'm a big foodie. If you ever get a chance to at a really nice restaurant, do like the chef's table, do it, bro. It's
Yeah,
amazing. Where like you sit kind of in the kitchen, you see where the sausage is being made. It's very very good. It's one of the
I just want how kids always fantasize like hanging out in the toy store, and then they like close the toy store, but they don't realize you're inside. So you
yeah.
get to be by yourself and play with all the toys. I would love for a restaurant to shut down and just leave me in the kitchen.
Well, you guys, I'm George Reister. He's Ralph Ames, and this is Reister Wrong. Peace out. Catch you guys later.